All right, strap in, everybody. We are going deep on UFOs and government secrets and a whole lot of intrigue surrounding something called Immaculate Constellation.
Yeah, it's a name that definitely grabs your attention.
It really does. It sounds like something out of a spy thriller or a...
Right out of a Dan Brown novel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we're super lucky to be joined today by someone who can help us untangle all of this, Michael Shellenberger. He's a journalist and an author who's been looking into this for a while and recently published a seriously interesting article that's kind of blowing this whole thing wide open.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here.
There really is. So before we get into the specifics, though, let's kind of set the stage for everyone listening. Imagine for a second that all we knew about this topic was what high-ranking officials have said publicly in the last few years. You know, like when former CIA Director John Brennan hinted at unexplained phenomena that might suggest non-human life?
Yeah. Right, or like when the current Director of National Intelligence basically said that UAPs, those are unidentified aerial phenomena, could be evidence of non-human intelligence.
I mean, that's a huge statement to make.
It really is.
And then you have former Director of National Intelligence John Ratcliff saying that there are UAPs out there displaying technology that we can't even defend against.
Like, we have no idea how they're doing what they're doing.
It's like straight out of a movie. But these are real people in positions of power saying this stuff.
Exactly. It makes you wonder what they know that they're not saying.
It really does.
Yeah.
And then you throw in David Grush's testimony, the former intelligence officer who claimed under oath that the U.S. government has actually retrieved spacecraft of non-human origin.
I mean, think about the impact those statements would have, even without all the years of, UFO speculation and grainy photos.
Right? It would be absolutely mind-blowing. But here's the thing. All of that is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, we're just scratching the surface.
Especially when we consider what Michael Shellenberger has dug up.
This Immaculate Constellation thing.
Yeah. So what is this Immaculate Constellation? What are we actually talking about here?
Well, from what we know so far, it's allegedly a super classified Department of Defense program. And not just any program. They think it's a USAP, which is an unacknowledged special access program.
USAP. So basically we're talking about a program so secret that most people in the government don't even know it exists.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. These programs operate in the shadows with very little oversight. Even Congress doesn't really know what's going on with them.
So what could they possibly be doing that requires this level of secrecy?
Well, according to what Shellenberger has found, the program seems to be focused on tracking, retrieving, and maybe even transferring crashed UAPs.
Crashed UAPs.
Wow.
So they're not just observing them, they're actually trying to get their hands on them.
It seems that way. And some sources are even calling these retrieved objects ARVs, or alien reproduction vehicles.
Alien reproduction vehicles?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. What exactly does that even mean? Are we saying that these vehicles can, reproduce?
That's a good question. And honestly, it's not totally clear what reproduction means in this context. It could be talking about replicating the technology, creating new vehicles based on what they've recovered, or maybe something else entirely. We just don't know yet.
So many questions. I mean, even the name Immaculate Constellation is fascinating.
It is, isn't it? It's kind of evocative, almost biblical.
Right, and it definitely plays into that whole sense of mystery and awe surrounding UFOs.
I think that's by design. They choose these names to kind of obscure what they're really doing while still keeping people interested.
So it's a tactic, a way to control the narrative.
It's definitely strategic, and that's where the role of the whistleblower becomes really important. A current or former U.S. government official whose identity is still protected supposedly tipped off Congress with a 25-page report about Immaculate Constellation.
So this person is risking a lot to bring this information to light. Their career, their reputation, maybe even their safety.
Absolutely. It takes a lot of courage to go up against something as powerful as the U.S. government.
And that tells you something about how significant this program and the information it holds could be.
Definitely. And this report didn't just reveal the name Immaculate Constellation. It also pointed to something much bigger, a massive database.
Wait, a database? What kind of information are we talking about here? Are we talking about those blurry photos and grainy videos we always see?
No. This is something else. According to the report, it's a huge collection of UAP incidents going all the way back to 1991. High-quality imagery censored data from military and intelligence sources, even accounts of the effects these UAPs have had on observers.
Effects. Like how these encounters affect people physically or mentally.
Exactly. We've heard about these kinds of effects from other whistleblowers and researchers, but this database could be a goldmine of information about what happens to people when they encounter a UAP.
1991. That means this program and this database have been around for over 3 decades. It makes you wonder how much the government really knows about all of this.
And what they've chosen to keep hidden.
Right, especially with these congressional hearings coming up.
Yeah, there's one in the House chaired by Representative Nancy Mace and another in the Senate chaired by Senator Kirsten Gillibrand. They're both happening sometime in November, and they're specifically about UAPs.
So you know they're going to be talking about Immaculate Constellation in this database.
Absolutely. This revelation has really thrown a wrench in the works. It adds a whole new layer of urgency to the conversation.
It's a game changer for sure. And that's what makes diving into some of the specific incidents documented in this database so fascinating.
Oh, yeah. Some of these are truly mind-blowing.
Okay, so let's hear it. What kind of incidents are we talking about? What makes them so remarkable?
So one incident that really jumped out at me involved an F-22 Raptor, one of the most advanced fighter jets in the world. During a training exercise, this F-22 was basically boxed in by these UAPs described as orbs.
Boxed in? What does that even mean?
So it means they were surrounding the jet, but it's more than just that. These orbs maintained a rigid spatial relationship with the F-22. Like, no matter which way the jet maneuvered, the orbs stayed in the same position relative to the cockpit.
So they were locked onto it.
Exactly, like they were attached by some invisible force.
Hold on, so you're saying an F-22 capable of supersonic speeds and crazy aerial maneuvers couldn't shake these things?
Nope, it couldn't. And that's what's so mind-blowing about it. It suggests a level of technology that is just beyond anything we currently understand.
I mean, to be able to maintain that kind of precise positioning, regardless of the jet's movements, I don't even know what kind of propulsion or control systems you would need for that.
We're not talking about drones or weather balloons here. This is something else entirely.
It's almost like they were toying with the F-22, like a cat playing with a mouse.
Yeah, it's a bit unsettling when you think about it.
Okay, so that's one incident. What else is in this database?
Well, there's another one that's equally baffling. This one involves a Navy aircraft carrier. The crew reported seeing a small orange-red sphere just hovering above the ship.
Right. I think I remember hearing about this one. What was so weird about it?
So it was emitting this soft orange-red light. But here's the thing. The light didn't illuminate the ocean surface or the flight deck of the carrier.
Wait a minute. If it was emitting light, shouldn't it have lit up its surroundings?
You'd think so, right? But it didn't. It defies our understanding of how light works. It's like the light was contained somehow, prevented from spreading out.
Some physicists have said this could be evidence of like a localized distortion of space-time, almost like a gravity bubble around the UAP.
It's a possibility, and it's not the only strange thing about this incident.
What else happened?
The crew also said the surface of this sphere appeared to be dynamic, like it was rolling, kind of like the surface of the sun.
Rolling, like it was rotating.
It's hard to say for sure without more information. It could be a visual effect, a distortion caused by whatever's affecting the light, but it could also mean the sphere itself was rotating or changing shape in ways we can't even imagine.
Okay, so we've got UAPs, boxing in fighter jets. UAPs emitting light that doesn't behave like light. I mean, the more we learn about these incidents, the more questions we have. And it all points to the fact that we're dealing with something truly extraordinary.
No doubt about it.
But here's the big question. If these UAPs are real, and they have technology that seems to break the laws of physics, what does that mean for us? Why should we even care?
That's the question we all need to be asking. On the one hand, the potential benefits of this technology are mind-blowing. I mean, imagine if we could understand and harness the energy source that allows these UAPs to seemingly defy gravity. We could revolutionize everything.
Space travel, energy production, transportation.
Everything. We could solve some of the biggest problems facing our planet.
But on the other hand,
There's the potential for danger. What if these UAPs aren't friendly? What if they pose a threat?
then we need to be prepared.
We need to understand their capabilities, their intentions, how to defend ourselves if necessary.
It's a lot to take in. It's like we're standing at this crossroads facing a future that is both incredibly exciting and terrifying.
It is. But we can't let fear paralyze us. We need to face this head on.
So what do we do? How do we even begin to prepare for something we don't understand?
Well, the first step is acknowledging the reality of this phenomenon and demanding transparency from our government. These congressional hearings are a crucial opportunity to push for more information, more accountability.
We need to know what they know.
Well,
We need to make sure these programs are operating ethically and legally.
Exactly. We need to be asking the tough questions. Who's making the decisions about these programs? What are their motivations? How do we ensure that this technology benefits all of humanity and not just a select few?
It's a huge responsibility.
It is, but it's also an incredible opportunity. We're on the cusp of a new era of discovery, and the choices we make now will determine the course of human history.
We're not just passive observers here. We're active participants shaping the narrative.
Yeah.
And we're not alone in this.
People all over the world are asking these same questions, seeking answers.
We have a chance to come together as a species, to share knowledge and resources, and face this extraordinary challenge united.
That's a powerful idea. It shifts the focus from fear and division to collaboration and shared purpose. Imagine what we could accomplish if we harness that collective energy.
It's a time for courage, curiosity, a commitment to seeking the truth no matter where it leads.
The universe is full of mysteries, wonders waiting to be uncovered.
Okay, so we've spent this deep dive exploring this Immaculate Constellation, this possible government program that's so secretive, and these really strange incidents it seems to be tracking. But what does it all mean? Where do we go from here?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? We could be on the edge of like a complete shift in how we understand humanity's place in the universe. But how do we as a society even approach something this big, this unknown, responsibly, ethically?
Yeah, it's like we're walking a tightrope. On one side, you have this incredible potential of this technology. I mean, breakthroughs in energy propulsion, maybe even our understanding of physics. It's almost too much to wrap your head around.
It really is. Imagine harnessing the kind of energy source that lets these UAPs seemingly ignore gravity and fly around like they do. It could revolutionize everything, from space travel to how we power our homes.
Yeah, it's like science fiction becoming reality, but with real-world consequences that are both exciting and kind of terrifying.
That's the other side of the coin, right? The unknown. We've all seen those movies where first contact with aliens doesn't exactly go as planned. And even if these UAPs aren't hostile, the impact of knowing for sure that we're not alone, it's huge. Socially, economically, religiously, it changes everything.
It's like we're opening this Pandora's box of questions that we might not be ready to answer. But is ignoring it any better?
Not at all. Pretending this isn't happening won't make it go away. We have to face this with a mix of caution and open-mindedness.
So how do we even start? Where do we begin with something this profound?
These congressional hearings are a good place to start. They give us a chance to demand transparency from the government, to find out what they know, and to make sure that these programs are operating ethically and within the law.
So it's not just about uncovering the truth about UAPs. It's about holding the people in power accountable.
Exactly. We need to be asking the tough questions. Who's running these programs? What are their goals? How can we be sure that this technology will benefit everyone, not just a select few?
It's a big responsibility.
It is. But it's also an incredible opportunity. We're standing at the beginning of a new era of discovery. The decisions we make now will shape the future for generations to come.
And we're not alone in this. People all over the world are grappling with these same questions, looking for answers.
We have this chance to come together as a species, to share what we know and work together to face this challenge as one.
That's a powerful thought. It shifts the conversation from fear and division to one of hope and collaboration. Imagine what we could accomplish if we could harness that collective energy.
It's a time for courage and curiosity, for a commitment to the truth no matter where it takes us.
The universe is full of mysteries, incredible things waiting to be discovered. So as we wrap up this deep dive into Immaculate Constellation, we want to leave you with this. Stay curious, keep asking questions, and never lose your sense of wonder.
The truth is out there, somewhere among the stars, waiting to be found.
Thanks for joining us on this journey. Until next time, keep looking up.